The edge of that cleaver is sharp as hell.
Madam is exhausted from the journey. You have to wait. Well, and that stuff around here. They're rare things, so try not to make fun of them, all right?
Sure, Jabali. I see our sympathies are mutual. Zanzeli has really weird decorations here. Very valuable, but a bit morbid. Almost all that's shown here is somehow connected with death. I can see deep slashes on it. It's obviously no dummy. I think that mask is on the cover of one of my books about ancestral African arts. It looks sharp. Judging by its height, it would perfectly fit Jabali. Such oblong masks are common and popular souvenirs from Africa, but these are a bit rarer. I can't say those things give me a pleasant feeling. All those African carpets are hand-woven and extremely durable, which is more proof that modern doesn't necessarily mean better. It looks functional, but I think it's been a long time since it was last used. I read somewhere that jackals used to be seen wandering through Egyptian graveyards. Maybe that's why the god of the afterlife has a jackal's head. There's some curved blade inside. It looks sharp and dangerous. There's a vase with a face in the showcase. This kind of art is quite common in Africa. Those damn statuettes. Why did she leave them here? Does she want me to notice them? If it weren't for those statuettes, Max would... I shouldn't have listened to Renier. I shouldn't...
They say that anger and wrath are destructive. It was never true, and it's not true now. Anger is better than resignation. Such a flame may get you far, Lara. But you must control it. Let it burn only where it's needed.
That's why you invited me? Did I rush here only to listen to a lecture on good behavior? You know well why I've come.
Forgive me. I understand you're concerned with only one thing. I wish I had a good news for you, but it is not meant to be. They still haven't found Max's body, but nevertheless I brought you something. An amulet.
But that's his amulet. He had it on him.
Washed up by the sea. I'll give it to you, but I'd like to ask you for something. I want to help you, but you must believe me. Do you believe, Lara?
In what?
You know in what. Do you believe in Max?
How many days since he's been away? How often waking from dreams where all is as it was? Haven't I been tortured enough? Give me that amulet and I'll go.
The amulet is not an ordinary trinket. It's a powerful thing. A thing with its own story, with its soul. With a strong tie because it was given out of love. I know a ritual old and powerful that we may perform. We could summon his soul.
His soul? It means that he's dead?
Some things resist being described with the words of this world, my dear. We can't define all things, store them in a nice box with a tag. Is the color gray more white or black? So how do you decide?
Do you expect me to sit at this table with you and play spooky games? Summon those souls of yours, but you won't find him. He's alive somewhere and will return to me. He'll come back to me when the right time comes.
Oh, that unfailing human fate. Great thing. Tell me, if Max was really alive, what if he's changed? Views, values that you shared. None of that is unchanging.
He couldn't have changed so much that I'd stop loving him.
Be careful with that word, my dear. Never is too powerful for someone who doesn't see far.
It's a simple, plain bowl, but it surely is old and rare, much like everything here. She's old, really very old, and with those blind eyes of hers, she should look weak and helpless, but it's definitely not so. The aura surrounding her is almost tangible. He's suspicious and never stops looking at me. Despite his tailored suit, he's obviously poised and ready to react if need be. Maybe you're used to manipulating people, but I recognize when someone's hiding something from me.
Now I don't understand you. What do you want from me?
Who are you? I mean, really.
I'm an old woman from an old family who is not going to be here much longer. And maybe I sometimes see a bit further than others.
So it's voodoo.
Why do you need to know everything? To understand everything? Your own aunt has a gift that you can't explain. So you stop asking questions, but you still have it somewhere in your head.
Who told you that? Have you had Jabali get information about me?
That is enough.
Wait, she doesn't mean it badly. She knows it's not like that, doesn't she? But to allow you to sleep well, yes, Jabali found it out.
You know if Max is still alive, don't you?
You think I'm tormenting you willfully? If you hear the voice of one of those singers of yours from the other room now, does it mean they are there or not? It may be a radio, but doesn't have to be. Some questions just don't have a clear answer, not even for me.
Beautiful inlaid table. The board is quite worn. Whole generations have probably sat by it, considering how hard the wood is that it's made from. Strange name, Jabali.
Strange name, Larisa.
Touché. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude.
Jabali, that is the present. The past remains in the grey dust of Nyanga. Together with that name, I no longer remember. And I don't want to. Do you know what Nyanga is? It was she who pulled me from that hell. A young boy who was skilled with a knife. She never asked what I'd done, what a mess I'd left behind. She's a saint, miss. What would I become without her? How shall I repay it all to her? She hasn't much time left. It's not fair.
I would say what you're doing is already enough, and I think she sees it that same way. We'll talk later.
Certainly. Our paths aren't going to part for some time. You'll see. That amulet. Not many people know the true value of things. Only a few understand their true essence. The magic they hide in themselves. If you try to sell it, how much do you think you'll get?
I wouldn't sell it, never. He's going to take it back someday.
Sure. You wouldn't sell it. For anybody else, it would have value of maybe several hundred rands. But for you, you feel the magic, the fine spider web woven into it.
All he ever had, what he touched, has now a completely different value.
And moreover, what about the stuff he intentionally put a part of himself in?
Why all these riddles? Do you mean his paintings?
Maybe. A painting is a window to the soul, Lara. I think you would be silly not to look at it very closely. Maybe you will see his thoughts in it.
Let's stop it, okay? I don't really have the strength to talk about him anymore now, or about the accident.
Fate is not an accident, Lara.
I'll take that amulet with me until Max comes back. Can I ask one more question?
You came to my missus and not to me, didn't you? So make use of her time when she gives it to you.
We'll talk later.
Certainly. Our paths aren't going to part for some time. You'll see.
Another depiction of Anubis. Zanzelle's fascination with that dark deity is really alarming. He's suspicious and never stops looking at me. Despite his tailored suit, he's obviously poised and ready to react if need be. Zanzella is probably right. I should try to find out what Max was thinking before he disappeared. Max's last painting. Oh my God! What was that? Am I losing my mind? Damn! Durand,
glass of wine, pause for a game of tank. Now who would bother answering the phone? Let it ring, there's no hurry.
Yeah, on top of which we'd spend most of our time here watching TV series about how you in the States do everything the right way.
Aren't we a bit cheeky, Durand?
You know I had a good teacher. Kira, it has been ages since you last called me. What are you doing? How are you? I'm so glad to hear you again.
Couldn't be better. Oh, I'm alive at least. In any case, I've got an interesting report here from your department. The analysis of that incident from Mission Street. You know what? It's not that bad.
You're calling me from the States only to tell me that the report's not bad?
Well, in fact, it's quite good. I'd even say excellent, but someone might take it personally.
It's teamwork.
My God, you're still so naive. Save that for Renier. It was the two of us who destroyed the southern smuggling route. It's only thanks to us. Those art pieces from Russia and China aren't in someone's living room now. Who else would recognize your thinking if not me?
It's the past, and you've never gone digging in the past. Push on ahead, that's the hardy Irish girl. So, what do you really need?
I want you here. I like your deductions. My boss likes them too. He's already booked a flight for you. You'll see the Golden Gate. And maybe save 3 lives. So?
Normally I would decline, but I'm interested in that case. Really interested. And if you put it that way, I've got to talk to Renier.
Why? We've already got her consent, and your air ticket is booked. See you at the crime scene.
Kira, you...
In your current case, his paintings are suddenly being mentioned. A phone call from an old friend? Isn't it strange how things from the past shape our future? How the past sometimes sends us on a journey into the unknown. Right now you wonder whether going down this road was a mistake. Whether the answers at its end are those you want to hear. But it's too late now, Lara. Too late to turn back.
I saw a lot of places on my way here heavily damaged by the earthquake. It isn't so bad here. The cheap suburban houses are the worst damaged, as usual. I'm Larisa Durand from the Office for Art Theft Investigation. Captain Burke has permitted me to look around the crime scene.
The office for what? But, wait, you're the new one from the Examiner, aren't you? Geez, I almost swallowed the bait.
A journalist? Me? What makes you think that?
Look, miss, I understand you. You're new and you need to make a name with an exclusive story. If it were some petty theft, I might help you, but this is really something different.
Listen, find Burke and verify it.
So you want to keep playing this stupid game? Journalists. 523, 1039, Burke.
523, 223. What's going on?
There's a woman here.
Durand, Madame Durand.
Durand? She says she's from some office that searches for stolen art items.
Sure, she is. Man, you couldn't even remember your own name.
But you haven't...
Jesus, don't hold her up anymore and let her inside. I've got something here to deal with, then I'll come over.
That's a bit embarrassing. I'm really sorry. I really can't remember him saying anything about you.
It's okay. I think Edwards is a good policeman. Maybe a bit too breezy and informal, but he's competent and tries to help me. There's some building site behind the fence, but no one is working there. After the earthquake, all the construction works were probably suspended for some time. News for parishioners. The last one announces that the church was damaged by the earthquake and will stay closed during the reconstruction works. Patrol number 523. The investigation at the crime scene hasn't finished yet, so it's necessary to watch it. This bar is loose. Maybe it will come in handy. An old metal fence. One of the bars is broken. The rod was in the fence in front of the church. It was probably loosened by the earthquake. Building site entry. I'm more interested in what's in the church, though. Building site entry. I'm more interested in what's in the church, though. The church seems to be in good condition, at least from the outside.
Wait, I know who you are now, of course. But there are rules, you know. I don't want to give Burke another chance to bite my head off.
Okay, I'm going to look inside.
Sure, but first I need to see something. Not that I don't believe you.
Here's my badge. I hope that's the last formality needed here.
Wait, here's the key. Better lock it. You wouldn't believe what the journalists are willing to do for a couple of photos. Moreover, the FBI crew hasn't finished and they have their things here.
It's the key from the side entrance leading to the cellar, and the one to the cellar itself. It's locked. Okay, let's have a look at the very reason I've traveled across the ocean. Well, if it isn't my favorite federal agent, you look great as usual. But to get locked up while working?
Lara, have you run across Burke? Because if not, you're gonna see an exemplary idiot. I suppose he's enjoyed outsmarting an FBI agent, But he's damn well gonna apologize for forgetting about me when he locked the door. Idiot.
Sharp as usual.
Pissed off by the stupidity of others, as usual.
Your hair looks good.
Hair? I haven't had a haircut for at least a year. What about you? Still with Max?
A year? How long ago was it when we were stuck in that stinking hole in Macau? 2 years?
More. You know what? I miss it. Only us two naive girls from the Russian and American police, far from all those forms and procedures.
Don't tell me that. So what do you have?
We haven't secured it all here yet, although the FBI has already taken some things away. The police were investigating here too, but we took over quite quickly.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
That's why I needed you. Show me that you haven't grown lazy in Lyon.
The cross is heavily damaged. It's hard to say if it's the result of the earthquake, vandalism, or simply the ravages of time. The light bulb is smashed, and in such a smart way that it'll be hard to get the metal cap out. There's an open Bible on the ground, and all the blood around. It gives me the shivers. I saw it in the photos in Lyon already. The blood belongs to one of those technicians. There's no need to analyze it again. That's weird. I don't remember seeing an overthrown spotlight in the photo with the Bible. Although, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was there. The spotlight is turned on and I really don't want to get an electric shock. The light of those lamps makes any bodily fluids visible, including blood. In our department, we use it also to detect whether a paper sample was manufactured before the year 1950. I can see almost nothing on the painting with the naked eye. So here you are. Who might have made you? And why do you have so much in common with Max?
What are you saying? Did you say something about Max? How is he, anyway?
Well, I'm telling myself, why is it here? Why just those 4 paintings? Why not any others?
Why do you never answer me when I ask about Max? Did something happen? I don't mean to pry, but look, if you don't want to, don't say anything.
You're right. I don't want to. Please don't be angry, but no, not now.
All right. I won't push it.
If I remember right, this is a cutting from the Annunciation painting by a certain group of masters from Bavaria, and it depicts the Archangel Gabriel, of course. It wouldn't be easy to wipe off the blood. Moreover, why should I do that? It wouldn't be easy to wipe off the blood. Moreover, why should I do that? Two angels clearly have a lily, which is one of the key elements of the Annunciation. Is it some kind of a message for us? What is that man trying to tell us? This is the Archangel Gabriel copied from the Annunciation painting by Federico Barocci. Actually, this one led me to making out what paintings these are. Back in Lyon, those wings led me to understanding what those paintings really are. This is part of the Annunciation painting by Philippe de Champagne. The angel is Gabriel, considered by some to be the angel of death. It wouldn't be easy to wipe off the blood. Moreover, why should I do that? It's Gabriel from a painting by Domenico Becciafumi. In other words, it's the angel of death from the Annunciation painting. 8 pairs of hands and bloody handprints all around the angels. Did the culprit want to say something by that? To draw attention to something in the main motif of the Annunciation? To hands of the angels? The way those angels are turned, their hands seemingly pointing to somewhere, maybe it has some meaning? The way those angels are turned, their hands seemingly pointing to somewhere, maybe it has some meaning? Kira has a simple portable laboratory here. I'm sure she'll help me with analyzing some clues. Tags used for marking evidence at a crime scene. There are some photos under them. It's empty. I'm not getting any coffee from this, and even if it worked, it would be highly unprofessional. It's an old espresso machine. It's nothing special, but sufficient for a morning dose of caffeine. I've not seen such a burner in years, but I used to have a similar one. It could really get red hot. The washcloth in the sink is still slightly wet. I hope no one will mind if I take this washcloth. Cups that the structural engineers probably used for their morning coffee. They're as clean as new. I'm not sure how I should use them. I'm definitely not going to drink from any of them. This knob turns on the burner. There should be a plastic reservoir for a filter and coffee under the lid. At least there was in the espresso machine I had in my office back in Russia. This confirms what I guessed in Lyon already. An overthrown chair, several drops of blood next to it, and a helmet. Someone fell to the ground here straight from the table, or someone made them fall. It surprises me how many potential weapons I see here, and yet it seems there was no fight here. Someone fell from the chair, but nothing more. I'll take those thumbtacks. How much of the two of us lived through together? In fact, I'm not even sure why we hadn't called one another for so long. Maybe too much work? The way those angels are turned, their hands seemingly pointing to somewhere, maybe it has some meaning? The washcloth is still wet. I'd say that this won't lead anywhere. A bunch of quality thumbtacks. I don't actually know if Kira brought them here or if they were just here already. Kira?
Yes, Lara.
What about that Bible?
I've noticed it, but there are no marks on it. No fingerprints, blood, nothing.
Is it possible it belongs to the murderer?
You mean he could be some religious fanatic? Maybe. But for someone like that, the Bible would be sacred. And he wouldn't just toss it here.
That's a hell of a lot of blood.
Have you noticed how evenly spread it is? No actual stains. And I don't think blood is particularly good for painting.
It definitely isn't. What did he hold the blood in? With what did he paint? I saw a brush somewhere around. Do you have any idea what he meant to say with that painting?
That's one of the reasons you're here. Come on, I know you can figure it out.
I think someone fell here. Do you see the knockdown chair?
Maybe a struggle. I don't think so. If the murderer was alone against 3 adult men.
Yes, someone would have grabbed something and used it as a weapon. I take it you didn't find blood on anything?
We have a UV lamp here, if you wish to see for yourself.
So let's rule out a struggle. What else is there? Did he drug them somehow?
I had that idea too. But it's not the gas, otherwise we wouldn't be talking here now.
Did the experts from the SFPD notice that smudge?
Did somebody drag something here? Or someone?
Exactly, but why does it end so abruptly? I think he carried the bodies wrapped in something. Maybe he cut their throats here, and then, when finished, he dragged them to some plastic or a sheet.
Absolutely. That explains why there's not much blood around here.
Do we know anything more about those missing technicians?
Argo reputedly sent us something already, but it hasn't gotten to me yet. The internal communication is terrible. Sometimes I think it would be faster to throw a bottle in the sea than to send an email. In fact, the only new thing I've discovered is that Argo originally sent 4 technicians, but the 4th one, a certain Yatsek, had to go to hospital. A blessing in disguise.
Do we know something more about Yatsek?
We'll certainly check him, but I wouldn't expect much. Maybe he will tell us something about his missing colleagues, but that's probably all.
Do you want to talk about your work? About how you are doing?
I don't, now. I'd rather not. This work is really cursed. It gets you into situations that probably don't have any understandable solution. No matter what you do, in the end, you'll have to defend it all before some idiot having no idea what you're talking about.
What's happened? Some specific case?
Nothing I'd want to dig any deeper into. You and SWOA are more or less an independent department now, right? You should appreciate that. I mean it.
So you think about China often?
Of China, of Russia, mostly of Golovkin's expression when he found out he sold all those smuggled jewels to police agents. We should have taken a photo of him then.
Well, it wasn't so funny then.
But it ended well. So what? It all made more sense then. The work had meaning.
Problems in the agency?
Oh, you don't want to hear it.